at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. What is going on, Clint Nation? Happy Modelo Monday to you, wherever you may be. I don't have a Modelo. I probably should have grabbed one, but I'm okay. I drank enough yesterday for my Eagles to go out there and win the big game. But we're not talking about the Eagles. We're not talking about the NFL. No, we're talking about Kiké Hernandez. We're talking about the Dodgers. Spring training is here. I'm rocking my Yamamoto blocky tee. I forgot who sent this to me a while ago, but shout out to that person on Instagram. But yeah, Kiké Hernandez is back. That's what we're here to talk about. We're going to be talking about his always likely return, and more importantly, why the Dodgers need him and needed him in 2025. Plus, how he fits into the plan and how he or who will be the odd man out on the roster by the time all is said and done for opening day. So yes, it is version 1 of my opening day roster prediction for spring training. All that and more on another edition of All Dodgers Live. Guys, I am Clint Pasillas. If you don't know who I am, I'm a longtime baseball writer. I've done sports editing, and more importantly, I've done this on the internet for a very long time. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about, sometimes I don't, but today we're talking about Kiké Hernandez, and it's that's fun. It's fun that it's done. It's fun that spring training is here. It's fun that we are seeing Shohei Ohtani throwing a baseball at Camelback Ranch. We're seeing Mookie Betts get in reps at shortstop at Camelback Ranch. A lot of great things happening, and it's a special time to be a Dodger fan, but now we're in that hole. It's time to start putting up or shutting up. The season is pretty much here. Spring training is here, and hell yeah. Guys, sound off in the comments. Let me know where you're representing your Dodgers fandom tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Just me tonight. Kevin has some things to do with the misso, so it'll be just us. We'll hang out here for a little bit, and I want to get out of here in time to watch Luka's debut with the Lakers. Before we dive into the news of the day, even though it was the news of yesterday, Kiké Hernandez picking a hell of a time to announce he's returning to the Dodgers. But I got to tell you guys, BetOnline, it's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you are a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball, and hey, MLB very soon. They also got NHL, UFC. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for sports betting. Every three-pointer, hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, every win. BetOnline. The game starts here. The show starts now. Let's get into it. Kiké Hernandez back with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not official yet, as we know, but returning on a reported one-year deal with more details to come. Let's just say this. It's great for the team. It's great for Kiké to come back where he wanted to be. He told us this when he was getting his haircut on YouTube or whatever that show was. He said he wanted to be here, and I see a lot of friends hanging out with us in the chat. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate people telling maybe non-regulars to like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and if we can get to 10K by opening day, that would be pretty sick. We don't know how long this Kiké Hernandez deal has been in place. I've maintained that I would not be shocked if there's been some sort of gentleman's agreement in place for some time, just because we didn't hear much about Kiké Hernandez's free agent market all through the process. And here we are, technically the day before pitchers and catchers need to officially report. Now, 2 days before, technically, is when he announced it. But we're here. We're here at this point where spring training is here, and there wasn't a lot of noise on somebody who was a World Series champion. The batting average got fixed when he put the glasses on, had some big moments, key plays during that World Series run. You would think another team looking to add a veteran presence, looking to add an adult to the room with young players, would have at least chimed in. And if they chime in, they talk to John Heyman, they talk to the reporters, and then rumors get out there. There were no rumors. There was no smoke when it comes to Kiké Hernandez. More than likely because there was always something in the works. Whether or not we ever hear about that, Remains to be seen. Kiké might maybe potentially talk about it, but that doesn't matter. Andrew Friedman completed this Dodgers front office completed their offseason infinity gauntlet with the addition or the return of Enrique, if you're nasty. But let's talk about the important thing here. Why Kiké matters. Did speak to Andrew Friedman today on Dodgers Territory. Please do check it out if you have not yet. It is linked in the description of this video. Great conversation with him and Alana Rizzo on our show. But he told us it was Kiké or nobody else. The Dodgers had only their eyes on Kiké Hernandez. They didn't feel like they necessarily needed to have Kiké or that type of player, another utility player on the roster. But it's more about the intangibles, about what he brings in the clubhouse with these players, and what Andrew didn't allude to, what he outright said as Kiké now enters his 12th MLB season this coming year. Kiké brings leadership to that clubhouse. That's massively important for this team that has had different moments of, being in the World Series. We saw 17, maybe that one, we know what happened there. Trash can, bang, bang. 2018, Dodgers shouldn't have been there. Kiké wasn't around in 2022, and it was some struggles. 21, he was not around. The Dodgers had some injuries or whatever. He's not a part of that. But one of the things I like, and we'll talk more about it in a little bit, one of the things I like with Kiké is that leadership and how long he's been in the league now. I think he's a major component of what helped that team that we saw last year kind of fight through the adversity of all the injuries and all the things that went on that maybe lesser teams and a lesser manager would have just said, yeah, let's phone it in. We're good. We tried our best this year. Let's see how far we can make it without starting pitching. But everybody, stepped to the plate, and that leadership goes a long way. And Kiké's a part of multiple dudes. There's several. This is a roster now that is just like loaded with leader types, with your Mookies, with your Max Muncies, with Miguel Rojas's, and all of that stuff makes a pretty big difference. So I will say this. For the we don't need him crowd, those who say, the Dodgers have enough players, sure, you're right. They didn't need him, the player. They absolutely did not need Mookie Betts, the player. Kiké Hernandez, the player. But again, there's more to Kiké than just being a utility guy, just being somebody who might hit around 250 in the regular season before going off in October. He's a leader. And to me, listening today to Andrew Friedman kind of gush about Kiké Hernandez's growth, and keep in mind, Kiké was Friedman's first trade, part of Andrew Friedman's first trade when he came to the Dodgers, when he took over as the president of baseball operations for the Dodgers. He picked up Kiké Hernandez. He picked up Austin Barnes, Chris Hatcher for our friend Richie Flores. And these are guys that are still there and still in the mix. So again, listening to Andrew today, that leadership though that we saw from Kiké Hernandez this October, I think that was something new. I don't think that was even here in 23. I do want to play the clip of Andrew talking to myself and Alana Rizzo today about re-signing Kiké, his importance and all that. But I still think like there was something this year that changed for Kiké, and that's part of what made him still be available for the Dodgers this late in the offseason. He's like, look, I don't need to be anywhere else. I'm a grown-up, I'm an adult, I'm a man, I'm a red-blooded American boy, and I'm good to just wait and go back home to where I need to be. But anyways, enough talking around it. Let's listen to Andrew Friedman talk about gush, as I say, about Kiké Hernandez, and then we'll get back into it.
We were just talking about Kiké Hernandez, albeit not officially made by the Dodgers, but Kiké announced it himself. Looks like he's the 26th man on your roster, probably the last to sign. I tell you what, why is he such an important piece, Andrew, to what this team wants to achieve? We know that he lights up in the postseason, but why was this important for you? Because you had said at Dodgers Fest that the door is never closed on Kiké.
Yeah, I mean, that is how we feel. The door will never be closed on him. And, for him, it was about, he and Mariana taking time and figuring out what made the most sense for them. It wasn't something for us that, if we were if not able to line up with Kiké, where we were going to go, oh, here's the next best option. Like a lot of times you have a need, you're targeting a need, you have the player at the top of your list and then others. In this case, it was Kiké or nothing. And as you pointed out, still not official yet, but obviously the impact, has made in October. On field, it was obvious. Off field, this past October may have been the most impressive displays of leadership I've ever seen. His connecting with different guys, going out of his way on a number of different fronts, was quite possibly the most impressive leadership I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's impressive to see the man who, about a decade ago wore the banana suit, to see him grow and mature, to become like you said, the leader. It was very apparent during this postseason run, or this last postseason run. It was apparent when he put a little bit of a target on himself, talking to Ken Rosenthal, and maybe getting himself a little bit of a fine. That was fun for everybody.
Just to close up on Kiké real quickly, it just goes to show nothing is impossible, because you pointed out the banana suit, and 10 years ago, if you would have said he is going to grow into this kind of leader, I would have bet a lot of money against. So it just goes to show things can play out differently than you assume and expect. But no, I just wanted to take a little dig at Kiké.
You got to give him a little bit of hell, Kiké Hernandez. But the important thing with this, player after player, coaches, this offseason, they talked about how much they love Kiké Hernandez, how much they wanted him back. Teoscar Hernandez joined us on Dodgers territory early in January and said, I love him. I want my brother back on the team. Anthony Bonda said it recently at an event, telling my friend Noel Sanchez about it. Miguel Rojas is one of the first people to post on social media talking about how much he wants Kiké back. Dave Roberts, even Matt Kemp earlier this year or last year on Dodgers territory, telling me and Alana how important Kiké was to making baseball fun for him again when he returned to the Dodgers in 2018. Mookie Betts talking about Kiké Hernandez. There's something important about in Kiké, and it's more than just the bat. And again, it's more than just another player. Sometimes, a name on the roster, a player brings more to the table than just playing a position and batting in the lineup. And Kiké brings a lot more to this team. And this is why so many of us here on the internet, and again, I'll say it again, people who have watched me here for a long time, it's a shock to see me do a complete 180 here when it comes to wanting Kiké Hernandez on the team. Even when they brought him back in 2023, I was like, I don't know, I don't like the idea of getting back with your ex, in simple words. But I was wrong. Our ex changed. Kiké became kind of the boy we needed in this Dodger clubhouse, in this Dodgers lineup. And Dodgers have so many of those kind of leader dudes, like I was saying, and there are a few of those guys, in my opinion, that, along with Kiké, Muncy again, like they combined to make what could have been an easy season to give up on with all of the injuries. Those players, all of that brought that group of men together. It brought them closer, and it made everybody buy into that singular goal. I mean, we've talked also about the team saying, leave the wives, leave the families at home for 3 weeks. Give us 3 weeks. That's the kind of stuff. Yeah, it wasn't just Kiké Hernandez. It wasn't just somebody like, Mookie Betts or Max Muncy, but it's all of them that takes one dude to say it. And if somebody has enough pull to kind of buy in, or a couple people kind of championing the idea, and it worked out, when, again, any other team could have very easily just phoned it in, or said, hey, let's see. Like, to the 2021 Dodgers, who didn't have pitching, they were like, let's see how far we can go, and they ran out of steam trying to climb uphill. These 2024 Dodgers, sorry, the 21 Dodgers, 24 Dodgers did not run out of steam. They had enough juice to go. But the point is, you go there, you give them your everything every day. You're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for those 25 other players, 35 some odd players, and personnel that show up to the park every day. Go out there, give them hell, shock the world, even as the best team on paper that we saw last year. to button this up, I'll say Kiké said early last year in the postseason run after downing the Padres, he said the Dodgers were different because they didn't give a fuck. That's not true. He was wrong. It was a team that gave all the fucks. So Kiké's back. And maybe he doesn't hit 250, maybe he doesn't hit 300, but it's more about what he does for this team up here and in October. So there's some Kiké talk for you right now. We do have more. Don't worry, we're talking more Kiké Hernandez. But first, I want to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. That's right, I got to tell you, Underdog Fantasy. You guys saw my picks. I did okay with Super Sunday, but we don't need to talk about that. I'm going to tell you that it is the easiest place to play all your fantasy sports, and it's now proudly helping support us here at the All Dodgers podcast. If you want to make some picks on your favorite sports, Underdog Fantasy offers a unique approach to fantasy sports with a simple pick'em style format, so it's easy, even for idiots like me. Now it's just about doing the research and knowing who to pick, or at least having a better idea of who to pick. But anyways, here's how it works. You just pick higher or lower on between 2 and 8 players, and you can win up to 325 times your entry. You see right here on the screen, it says 100x. With our promo code, it's 325x. Using that promo code, All Dodgers. You see it right here. I'm going to grab it for you. New users get a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash, which is just as good as money. Here are the picks I'm playing tonight for Luka's Lakers debut. I'm just playing a few because I did it just before the show, but I got Luka putting up some points tonight for the Lake show, and we're hoping he's doing hoping he has himself a nice debut in the purple and gold. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com today. Download the app. Click the link in the description below. Use that promo code All Dodgers. That's all one word. You get that free pick. You get $1,000, up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you for supporting the companies that help support this show and keep the lights on and all that kind of stuff. And let's get back into it. We got to talk more Kiké Hernandez because there is another big factor that this Dodgers team needs to figure out over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks during spring training. It's how does Kiké Hernandez fit onto this overloaded Dodgers roster? Who will the odd man out be when it comes to that opening day roster? So all that glazing aside that I did in the first segment, there is one big problem for the Dodgers this spring. And again, we've talked so much about it already over the offseason, but they have too many players. And they just added one more. And yeah, it's a good problem to have, but at some point you do get to only have 26 active players each day, and 13 of those need to be pitchers, so it's a little bit of a problem. So again, how does Kiké Hernandez fit into the picture for the Dodgers? Well, you got to figure, like how does he fit in the plan? He's going to play some second base. He's going to play some center field. He's going to play some third base. Real simple. Shortstop, left field, even some right field. He's not going to be in the lineup every day. That's not what he came back here to do. But he's going to get his reps in all over the field. We know this. We don't need to dive too much into this. But I see Jenny Vega saying, bye, CT. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But again, his importance on the field, if we're talking about production wise and him as a player and not as all the intangibles and leadership and all that, it's to give other dudes, veterans, older fellas, days off during the week. Give Freddie, I would love to see Freddie Freeman take some days off this year. Give Mookie a blow here and there. Phrasing, that's Docism for you. Max Muncy, give him some time off here and there. Kiké played a very good third base for this team down the stretch. It's keeping these guys fresh, keeping them froggy, as Dave might say. We also know injuries are going to pop up plenty. He's going to get plenty of playing time that way. So that much, how does he fit into the plan? That's pretty straightforward. The big one is, though, who is the odd man out going to be for this team? We talked last week on the stream. Myself, producer Kevin, we did talk about, two names. We talked about Andy Pages, Hae-Sung Kim. They're absolutely going to have spotlights on them this spring. They're young. They have options. And those two things, see you, Ricardo, give them a blow, to ask Dave. It's what he says. But those two things, them being young, Pages and Kim being young and having options, it works against them. So there's that factor. Let's also talk about like who's the odd man out, who could be the odd man out. There is the Chris Taylor, the CT3 trade possibility. There's a DFA possibility. I don't see that happening, but is a CT3 trade possible? Sure, why not? I think though. Also, kind of talking to Andrew, and I think the importance of. I'm seeing myself delayed in the side. I'm being real handsy today by myself. More phrasing for everybody there. But I think Chris Taylor is just kind of one of those guys like Kiké now. He's an intangibles guy in the clubhouse that might be sort of, it'll be tough to break up the band, as I use now air quotes when we talk about being too handsy. When you consider that CT3, Chris Taylor is the second longest tenured Dodger position player on the team right now, on this roster. It's difficult to see the team just kind of cutting bait before opening day. That's where I'm at with that. And I think when you have other guys like Kim, who's a rookie with options, he's never played at the major league level, you can take advantage of that opportunity in saying, hey, we want to let you get acclimated to the States, let you get acclimated to the different size baseball we have in Major League Baseball. So you can go that route. I will say, and I'm not a big fan of it, I think Andy Pages does end up being the odd man out. Just because they can justify it by saying they want him to pick up more at-bats at AAA and more at-bats that he would get during a week at the big league level. That's the easiest way you can justify telling Andy Pages, World Series champion, hit a couple of dingers in the NLCS, played fine in the postseason. It's just he has some holes in his game, and they can be kind of refined. His game can be refined at the AAA level. Listen, I'm a big Andy Pages fan. I wouldn't say heartbroken. I was annoyed when they optioned him to AAA as early as they did last spring training. But again, for as solid as he was overall in his rookie season, like fantastic against left-handed pitching and all that, still has those holes in his game, and they can only get better with more seasoning at AAA. So with that said, let's have some fun. I decided to take a crack at my first official opening day roster prediction for 2025. I don't know if this is supposed to be exciting. We're going to get in the chat. I understand I have not talked to the chat too much right now. I kind of wanted to get through a stream of consciousness with this. Then we'll talk chat. I do have some voicemails, and we'll go from there. But let's look at this. Let's look at this roster real quick, and we'll kind of digest, react, and then button it up, and then we'll all talk for a little bit and get out of here. But here's that roster. My projected opening day roster. It does not have Andy Pages on it. And this isn't the lineup. This is roster. Breaking news, Shohei Ohtani, pending health, will be on the opening day roster. Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman. I do have him in this scenario at second base because I think Kiké Hernandez could be starting in center field for the Dodgers in Tokyo against the Cubs and Shota Imanaga. Conforto's going to be a lock. Teoscar, of course, going to be a lock. We know Muncie's going to be in that lineup. Mookie, they really want Mookie to be a shortstop. And then you have your bench there. Barnesy, Miggy Rowe, CT3 is going to be utility guy. He's going to play some infield. He's going to play some outfield. Hae-Sung Kim, they want to get him some outfield. Best case scenario, he can kind of take the reins and take a lot of the the lion's share of opportunities at second base. But that's what I think we see. That's my version one, just position players, the pitchers. That sounds like a lot more daunting of a task to try to predict that opening day roster, especially with the Tokyo factor and all that. So I'm not going to do that yet, but that's where I'm at. I think we do see Andy Pages kind of end up being the odd man out. And for Kiké Hernandez, I'm okay with it. Are you guys okay with it? That is kind of that is a question we'll ask now. But guys, sound off in the comments. I want to know what people are thinking. There's my, again, stream of consciousness stuff I wanted to get out of the way before we really dive into the chat and then get out of here to watch some Lakers hopefully beat down on whoever they're playing. I don't know. I'm still not really paying attention to basketball, but Luka being a Laker is pretty big. Mr. Classic says CT3 for Trout. I'm drooling about that one. I don't see that one. I'm sorry. Like I need like a. Actually, I have one in the living room. I need one of those the Magic 8-Ball. That feels like that can be a segment. Also, Mr. Classic, I saw your comment on Twitter about our interview with Andrew Friedman. Appreciate the love and the kind words from Mr. Classic on there. Kevin Uhas turned that roster into the batting order. I thought about doing it, but then that's wasting content. You know, I could wait a week and be like, here is my opening day lineup prediction. Listen, we're in the business of content, man. That's what it's about. And we're here hanging out, and we're not talking about any sort of particular Mexican delicacies that you can get from a taquero or anything like that. Calvin the Goat wants to send CT3 to China, maybe Japan. We could see him there in Japan. He could go play for Hanwha, the Kiwoom Heroes, and then the Dodgers would see him while they're playing in Tokyo in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Denny Cortez is being IT for somebody. Our buddy Noah Ortega said, I believe Kiké will be playing second base and Edmund in center field will be better. Just an opinion. It's not a bad opinion. Not at all. I mean, I think I had them at two different, both ways, really, in both different iterations that I put together of that not very difficult opening day roster. It's just, hey, is it going to be Kim or is it going to be Chris Taylor, or is it going to be Andy Pajes? In this case, it was Andy Pajes, not on the roster, in my opinion, and I think the Dodgers do go that way. Nando390, not a fan of the Super Bowl and the halftime show. Was lame like the Padres. Hey, I loved it. I was an Eagles fan, or I am an Eagles fan, so I got to root for my team and see them win their second Super Bowl in, 8 years? So I'm in a good spot. Super Bowl or halftime show, honestly, I could barely hear it. I enjoyed the visuals as the hands get going again. But I don't have too much in the way of opinions of either. I will say if I was not rooting for the Eagles, it would have been a very bad, very boring game. I agree with many people. I would agree with many people in that regard. Let's see. Take a few more comments, and then I do have voicemails, and then we'll get the heck out of here. That's right. My bad. Almost completely forgot, even though I made sure to remind myself. Doesn't matter if you don't look at your reminder. Richard Flores, $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Richie, for always supporting the show. He says, trade CT3 and Outman for a 6-pack of beer. And I think I saw Ricardo asking what kind of beer. That's a good question. That is a good question. You know what? Because it's Outman. We're talking about somebody that's young, team control, rookie of the year, third place in 2023. Can we make it a 12-pack of Pacifico? That's what I'm going. Come at me, bro. Listen, I am the new GM now. That's what I decided right here. Also, Richie Flores, a little bit earlier, $4.99 super chat saying Kiki is a living definition on what a Dodger is. He's here for October, not for the 162. We need that we don't give a fuck attitude. Appreciate Richie supporting the show, and yeah, having that attitude, it goes a long way for this team, for this clubhouse, for some of the younger dudes in that clubhouse as well. So love having Kiké Hernandez back on this roster. I did say I want to get to some voicemails. I got to clean up one thing on my screen here because we don't have producer Kevin here on the show. But guys, let's listen to a couple voicemails because we do have some voicemails, some callers, friend of the show. You guys see the voicemail number at the bottom of the screen. It's also on the description of this video. The season is pretty much here. Spring training is here. Stuff is happening. We're going to have actual headlines and things to talk about. So I'd love to hear more from people this offseason. Please call. Even if it's not on a show day, we can find a way to make it into content, mix it into content. I also want to start eventually doing standalone, just voicemail videos at some point, but I'm going to need your guys' help. I'm going to need more people, more callers, more thoughts and ideas, even if it's just something super simple, a 10-second call with a trade idea, something you like, a fire Dave Roberts for fun. Would appreciate it if you do that. We'd also, again, appreciate if you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. But let's go and listen to our first voicemail from our friend Noah, as you know, who has, of course, some thoughts about things that have transpired in recent days and the season being here.
Why, hello there, guys. It starts Noah, as you know. And I got to say, guys, we're finally about to start This is the most excited I've been for a season. And what's cool is with all the versatility our players have, from Kiké to Chris Taylor, we have so many players that can play multiple positions that every time we look at the lineup the following day, we are always going to have question marks. So every game is going to feel different. Plus, with all the starting pitching we have and how talented they are, every game is going to be worth watching. Even though I watch every single game, if you join our Discord, that way we could all watch and talk at the same time. I'm excited for every single game. Let's just hope there is no Nick Ahmed, Kevin Biggio situation. But enough with those names. I'm already getting flashbacks that I do not want to remember. And I forgive you, Kevin, producer Kevin, if you're there. I forgive you for not inviting me to the wedding. Hopefully, though, we'll meet in person. But to help you sleep a little better, don't worry, I forgive you. Maybe when I do get married, maybe I'll invite you. Maybe. But that's for another time. The only good news is there's a higher chance of me getting married than the Padres winning a World Series. Something very, very small. But anyways, guys, as you know, fuck the Padres. Fuck the Giants. Fuck Fernando Tatis. Fuck Manny Machado. And obviously,
for the love of God.
Oops. Oopsie doopsie. A little too soon. Fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. And fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
No, I appreciate you calling in, bud. I do want to pick at one thing. Not pick at, but there's two things I want to take away from his call. One, yes, please do join us on Discord if you're looking for a different way to support the show outside of hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button. We do have a Discord set up. You have to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button here on YouTube. It's $5 a month to support the show, and you get access to the Discord, where $5 pretty cheap when you understand and you learn what some other people are charging for these things these days. But still, you get to join a growing community of Dodger fans that are really excited about this team. And again, I'm doing the hands. I'm going to calm down with the hands. This not Dodger talk. There's always Dodger talk and general life talk in there. It's a good time. Talk football as well, and a whole bunch of things. So do check that out. Again, the links are in the description for that. But the Josh Gitt said Noah just destroyed the Padres organization. Oh crap! I just realized I didn't switch screens there. My bad. No, that is pretty. It's a pretty wrecked moment there, we'll say there for the San Diego Padres. But the other thing I was going to say, I was going to pull from what Noah said there, is the way I equate it with it's must-watch Dodger baseball. You're not going to want to miss any of these games. And I was talking to a buddy of mine recently who also covers this team in some way, shape, or form on a daily basis. And before, if there's a Lance Lynn start, you can kind of take a day off. It feels like you don't really need to be that. As a fan, you don't need to be that mentally engaged. You could check the box score if you really, really needed a day off to go run some errands or something with the family. With this team, I mean, I look at that day's starting pitcher. I don't know if everybody else does, but I look at the starting pitcher and I'm like, okay, I'm really in on that game. Kershaw day still means something to me. But like Blake Snell, you want to see those. Yamamoto, you want to see those. Shohei Ohtani, my God, you need to see those starts. Glasnow is kind of one of those dudes. And, eventually, Sasaki, you need to watch Roki Sasaki starts. Tyler Glasnow, yeah, you want to watch the most of those for sure. Tony Gonsolin, love the dude. There's kind of like your day during the week to sort of, exhale a little bit, I guess. But, yeah, this is absolutely like must-watch Dodger baseball. We're on the doorstep right now of potentially the best season ever in baseball, the best roster in baseball history, potentially. So it's worth watching. It's baseball. It's a team worth watching. Let's go ahead and get back to the voicemail hotline. We got a call from our friend Kevin Uhas, who, he called first and was on the motorcycle, and then his Bluetooth died. So I was waiting and nothing happened. But anyways, let's listen to Juhas.
How's it going, everybody? This is Kevin Juhas. I finished watching the Dodgers territory, and I had a couple interesting thoughts about Andrew Friedman. He said when, not if, he was going to get fired. 2, golden era of Dodger baseball. I really hope that we hit that mark within the 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We just win straight World Series. That would be phenomenal. That would be the best baseball that would go through my whole entire life. Would not be disappointed with that at all. And then, obviously, how he was saying that he needs to have Kershaw retire as a Dodger. Not sure if we're over that with him needing to be around. Where does he fit? All that other stuff, you know? And then signing off for, you know, having our boy, the Zesty Hernandez, back around. That's going to be something really great to see. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
That's Kevin Juhas. I love that. Zesty Hernandez. We could put that. Can I put like Zenrique on the back of a jersey? Will you guys let me get that one instead of the Gavin Lux jersey that I promised people on a stream and on our Discord? Good stuff out of Andrew Friedman. Again, if you did not watch today, do check it out. Dodgers Territory. It's linked in the description below. I did ask Friedman like about his his tenure, his legacy, and he says he doesn't really look back. But we were going to ask him about how his job security is kind of tied to Shohei Ohtani staying with the team for 9 more years. I think he's fine. I think Andrew Friedman's not worried about a damn thing. It's a when he wants to go, not a if he's going to be fired sort of thing. He's pretty good at his job, according to sources. But I appreciate the open and honest version of Andrew Friedman, at least as open and honest as you can get. I just wish he would have told us, 10 minutes before it ended up breaking. I wish he would have told us that Farhan Zaidi was coming back, but he didn't, which is rude. Kenny Chung also bringing up a good point, which was something kind of Juhas talked about in his voicemail there. You can live with 2 World Series in the next 5 years. That's what I said. I think at the bare minimum, you need to win 2 in the next 5, but one of them needs to be this year. Like one of those really, really needs to be this year, or else I wouldn't say it's embarrassing because things happen. Baseball's a bitch. We understand that. But if it doesn't happen, there better be a really, really good reason. Anyways, one last voicemail from our friend Richie Flores in the flesh, and he's got some things to say, and I'm sure they're going to be foul, so cover your kids' ears. Maybe they'll also be nice. Maybe they're nice. Let's listen to Richie.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy Monday to you. What a disappointing Super Bowl that was. The Chiefs' offense was colder than my sister-in-law's personality. Mahomes couldn't get out of the pocket fast enough. I've seen better legs on a chair. And speaking of disappointment, the Padres' epic offseason continues by the big blockbuster signing of Connor Joe and Jason Hayward. Matt Latos and Lance Lynn can't believe how bad of a signing that is. But fear not. Spring training is just around the corner. Kiké's back, and I really hope that Altman and CT3 enjoy their new careers delivering all of the Uber Eats throughout the greater Scottsdale and Glendale, Arizona area. Well, that's all I got for today, Clint. So fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck the Padres. Fuck Tatis. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
One of these days, I'm going to get a call from YouTube, and they're going to be like, that guy Richie? You can't have him on the show anymore because he says a lot of bad words. Well, again, appreciate Richie calling into the show, supporting the show via the voicemail hotline. Not much more to add to it, the Padres thing. I wasn't going to talk about that, but oh man, what a tough absolutely tough offseason for the Padres, where they're over here. I'm waiting for them to have the press conference to introduce Connor Joe and Jason Hayward. And also, I've seen people posting on social media the Jason Hayward's going to get his ring. He's going to be presented his ring at Dodger Stadium in a Padre uniform. They're not going to do that. They're not going to present him a ring. He wasn't on the postseason roster. He gets a ring for sure. But to be like, hey, you got DFA'd with a couple weeks to go in the season, I don't think he's going to be like, yeah, I want to go out there and receive my ring and anything. I don't think it goes that way. I do not think that is a big hullabaloo. He gets a ring. He deserves a ring. Jay Hay was another one of those guys in that Kiké Hernandez breath of leadership, and I think he was very integral in. The hands are happening again, so I think it's about time to sign off. But very important to building this clubhouse, this camaraderie into what it became and what we saw the team turn into in the second half of the season. Kiké got his glasses, turned into a leader, and they all rooted for each other. Not to say they didn't before, but they rooted for each other. They pulled on the same side of the rope, and they went out there and won a World Series, and we're going to do it again in 2025. So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me today here on the show. We ended up going longer than I planned because I wanted to hang out with you guys. It's been a while since it's been, just us, but appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the comments, the questions, the engagement, the super chats. Richie, I think he sent the 2 super chats in for today's show, so it'd only be correct for him to be the final call on the show as well. I want to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters, for helping to continue support the channel financially that way. If you can't support that way, please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, share with your grandma, share with like-minded Dodger fans, all that kind of stuff. All of that really, really does help out the channel. Shout out to the mods for doing a kick-ass job in the chat. I know Jenny was going hard. I know IB Strokin was going hard in the paint in the chat. So we appreciate you guys there. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Just go to Bet Online. Use it. Tell them I sent you. I don't know if you can, but do that. I am Real FRG on all of the social media platforms. Please do give me a follow if you don't mind. Check out that Dodgers Territory with Andrew Friedman. Share that with your friends, your grandma. Subscribe over there too. Those numbers help me as well. But yeah, like Keen says, it's Luka Magic time, and we're gonna get the hell out of here. Oh, one more. Kevin Uhas, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Uhas. It says, get on Discord. Guys, join us on Discord. Links are in the description below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.